Hey there, the internet. Mickey P here, and today we're going to be looking at the best computer game ever made, TIE Fighter by LucasArts. And I've got the original box here that I got from eBay because boxes are awesome. Unfortunately, this one's probably seen better days. It's a bit squished up, but we can still have a look at all the stuff that comes in it. Let's start with the front cover, obviously. We've got TIE interceptors and miscellaneous other TIEs flying away from an explosion, and Darth Vader's helmet. Because in this Star Wars game you play as the bad guys. And it's a super awesome game. Like, you're just like an Imperial TIE fighter, cannon fodder type pilot. And you start off like catching smugglers and end up fighting the rebellion, and it's got a complexity that games don't have these days, like mechanically, and I think that's kind of common in early 90s PC stuff because there's higher barrier to entry and more expectation that people are going to read the manual, do tutorial missions and all that. So yeah, let's have a look around the box. On the back we've got a list of all the features, which is quite a lot of things. Pirates raid interstellar traders, terrorists threaten the galaxy. Yeah, because the Rebel Alliance are just terrorists in this point of view. Because, of course, a great many things we think are true depend greatly on point of view, if I'm probably misquoting Obi-Wan there badly. Apologies to Obi-Wan for misquoting. Yeah, got some screenshots of the Emperor and cockpits and whatnot. And on the bottom is where the system requirements live on this box. We can see this requires 386 33 MHz DX minimum and a whole meg of RAM. And joystick required. Wouldn't see that these days. Like, no one actually has proper joysticks to play their games with these days. Except for me, of course, because I needed to play TIE Fighter. Anyway, that's the outside of the box. Let's have a look inside. And one interesting thing about this box is the way it opens up. It's kind of hinges like this, and inside we see this box is a bit dirty, unfortunately, but oh well. First thing we've got the game on 5 floppy disks. Unfortunately, these floppy disks have not quite survived the passage of time, which is unfortunate, but luckily there's this thing called GOG where you can just get the games that way. It'd be nice to have working floppies, but that's not really why I got this. The main reason I got this was this book, The Steel Chronicles. So this is kind of a walkthrough and also a plot line. So it's got like the notional story of your player character, Marek Steele, and his move into the Imperial Navy and having to deal with everyone else running around being traitors and all that. And I think it also has kind of guides to the early missions. Might be wrong. I might be confusing it with the strategy guide that had like an extended version of this story. But this is the one that came with the game, so it's got the story of Marek Steele and it's got some basic manual stuff on how to play the game, all sort of tied into the narrative. And one of the reasons this was cool is I didn't have this with the version I had as a kid, because I had the Windows 95 version of TIE Fighter, which updated it to a better graphics engine and a worse music engine because it replaced the iMuse with just CD audio tracks. But the manual it came with was kind of a generic, I think it was like full colour, fairly covering both X-Wing and TIE Fighter, but it didn't have this in it. So it's cool to actually be able to read this, and I'm sure I'll enjoy looking in it closely later. Next thing we've got in the box is the catalogue. So this is a LucasArts catalogue, The Adventurer, with a big ad for Full Throttle on the front. And apparently this was from summer of 1994. just have a quick flip through it, because I don't think you want me to go through the catalogue in huge detail. But one thing these catalogues did have was they had Sam and Max comics in them. At least I think that's cool. Yeah, LucasArts stuff. And I think at the end it's like, hey, you can also buy Star Wars merchandise. Yeah. You don't even get catalogues in games these days. Like, I guess because you're not really going to be buying them in mail order, you're going to be buying them online. I've got some other advertising stuff in here. This is the Send Away for the Strategy Guide, which I mentioned earlier kind of expands on the Steel Chronicles and goes into more of the plotline. Yeah, it actually says on this side, it's got the continual adventures of Marek, the main character of the Steel Chronicles. And this is a little... What is this? This is a thing to subscribe to Computer Game Review, which I guess was one of these computer magazines. It's not one I've heard of. It's just a little send-away card. Yeah. Yes, you could get 12 issues for $19.95. Honestly, never heard of this magazine, but I guess they had some sort of promotional thing with LucasArts. Ooh, this is the pre-order for the TIE Fighter campaign disc that I'm hoping to get my hands on myself, so you could pre-purchase the expansion pack with a flyer in the box. That almost kind of seems like having ads for DLC in the game you buy these days, but I don't know if this was in original boxes or if this is a re-release from a bit later, but yeah, you could get the... In the game box it had you could pre-order the extra expansion for it. Oh well. Next up we've got the more conventional manual, Imperial Forces Starfighter Pilot Manual, Technical Data and Operation Use. It's got more manual stuff, I guess, the stuff that wasn't covered in the Steel Chronicles. Guides to what everything means on all the cockpits. It's cool. And this is the kind of much more technical how to install it, what are you supposed to be getting in the box. I think we've got everything, unless I'm missing it. Hope I'm not missing anything. Yeah. I think we're having I think we include everything. That means I luckily don't need to contact LucasArts Entertainment Company's product support, because I don't think that number would still work. Yeah, this has got guides what the keys do, and dated details about CompuServe in America Online, and Genie, whatever Genie was, I have no idea. And lastly, registration card. This is a huge registration card that you could win a prize. And I guess if you fill this out, you can win something. So yeah, that's the full packaging for the best computer game ever made. May not seem like much. Actually, it's pretty good. It's got this big book, but seriously, an amazing game. Like, it's interesting because it kind of has a fairly sparse presentation, but it still draws you into the universe and all that. And yeah, I'd highly recommend playing it if you can get past the learning curve, because it's still available on Steam and GOG, but the GOG version is superior for various reasons, because they use the DOS CD version that's considered like the definitive release. Yeah, TIE Fighter, good game. Seriously good game. The best game. I'm Mickey P, and thanks for watching.